Well, welcome back to the homestead. In the last two episodes, I've been working on putting this Rockwool insulation in, and I got a little bit ahead of myself doing that. Before I put this insulation in, I intended to go through and spray all of my stud bays with a borax solution on the first couple of feet, and I forgot to do that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull out the bottom bat of insulation all the way around the first floor. These are just 4-foot bats, so it's just a small section. I'm going to pull those all out, and then I'm going to spray the borax solution on those stud bays and let that dry, and then we'll stick the insulation back in them. And the solution that I'm going to be spraying in there is a borax solution that I'm mixing up using this 20 Mule Team borax. It's a laundry additive, but it's got a lot of other uses. Borax is really the main ingredient in most of your termite protection solutions, and it works great on fire ants too. So it's pretty cheap, it's easy to mix up, it's non-toxic, and what I've done is this one box, I picked it up at Lowe's. It's a 4-pound box, and it made about 5 gallons of solution. So it's a cup and a half of this to a gallon of hot water is what's recommended. And all we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to pull these bats out. We'll spray the bottom couple of feet of the studs with the solution, let it dry, and then I'll stick this insulation back in. And even though I have a contract with a professional pest control company here in town that is protecting the house from termites, and I have an insurance policy with them if there's ever any damage or anything, this is really a pretty cheap and easy step to do. That's just a little extra insurance. So whenever the pest control company comes in, they don't spray anything inside of the house. All of their treatment is outside. It's sprayed on the ground around the house, and then on the ground under the house, and on the foundation concrete columns. And that's pretty much what they typically spray. So we're going to spray the inside of these cavities with our borax solution. I'm going to continue to maintain the contract with the pest control company where they spray the stuff under the house, and hopefully we won't have any trouble with ants or termites. But like I said, this is just too easy and too cheap to do for me to skip this step. Even though I've already put this insulation in, it's not hard to get back out, and I feel like I really need to go ahead and do that. So let's get started on it. Well, that pretty much does it for spraying my borax solution around the first few feet of the exterior walls downstairs. And while I'm waiting on that to dry so I can put the insulation back in, I thought I'd go ahead and come upstairs and start putting the insulation in the 2 gable ends up here. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So I don't know if this is going to show up very well in the camera, but now that I've sprayed this wood with the borax and it's dried off, there's a bunch of little crystals on the surface of it, and you should be able to see the reflection of them in the camera a little bit. And it's a bunch of crystals that have dried on the surface, and then once the insects eat those crystals, it disrupts their digestive tract and kills them. So that's what the protection is right there, is those little bitty crystals that you see all over the surface of the wood. All right, so that's going to do it for me today. I finished up the insulation on the eastern wall upstairs, and when I finished that, the stud bays downstairs had dried out enough from the borax treatment that I could come back down and put the bats back in. So you can see behind me here, all the bottom insulation bats are back in downstairs, and the eastern wall is finished upstairs. I've got everything staged over on the western wall upstairs, so the next time I come out I can go ahead and jump right on that. And I'm hoping to be back out here in the next day or two to finish that wall up, and then I can come back downstairs and start filling in these gaps downstairs for the narrow bays and the spots over the top of the windows and doors and things. So we're making progress. Another day or two and I'll probably have the Rockwool part finished, and then we'll be getting ready to spray foam shortly after that. So till then, y'all keep checking back.